Hey, Exes. Today we have a really special guest on for you. Her name is Livi, and she created Unfuck Your Coparenting. By the way, if you're looking for a filtered episode and an episode that's not based in reality, this is not your episode. Livy, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today.
No, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Good, awesome. Well, first off, a little bit about your background. What helped you to create this Unfuck Your Co-parenting movement regarding being a parallel parenting coach?
So, my whole entire experience is 100% based on my own experience with the system.
Hmm.
Like so many people who have gone through divorces out there, I was married to, and I know people hate it when I use this word, I was married to a narcissist and didn't fucking realize it.
Uh-huh.
And I went through the whole process of kind of coming to terms with narcissism and coming to terms with divorce and what the system looked like. And I had been constantly fucking gaslit by the rest of society saying, you need to work harder. You need to communicate better. And then when you actually divorce, you need to co-parent with this person. And all of the advice was talk more and make sure you're emailing every day and you should have these shared birthday parties. But on the flip side, I was doing all this research on narcissism going, that's the exact fucking opposite of what I'm supposed to be doing. And trying to grapple with the fact that everyone thinks you should be this fuzzy, those Instagrams that you see with mom and stepmom are friends. And I had so many of those divorces in my own life and kind of going like this isn't fucking reality. And nobody really is talking about this in a way that I can relate to. Like I love Dr. Ramani and all of her work on narcissism. And she does a lot of stuff on divorce and co-parenting, but it didn't feel real and authentic. And so I really did kind of have to take these two bodies of research, put them together, put them out into my own life, and a lot of trial and error and learning and self-reflection and realizing that there are so many people who are going through the exact same thing. And this is a pattern. It is amazing to me, as amazing as it was the day I started as it is today. All of my clients, everyone I talk to, you can see it's day after day after day. It's the same fucking shit. These people do the exact same things. They attack us all in the exact same insecurities and things. And there is a way to make your life better.
Hmm.
And that is how I got here.
And the thing that I have to give you a lot of credit for is not too many people that I personally follow can make me laugh out loud in the beauty aisle of Target. But I've watched so many of your reels and I am just laughing uncontrollably. I have no power over it. It just comes out because the way you talk about parallel parenting is so relatable if you're living it. And like you said, Dr. Ramani is amazing. She is someone that I've looked up to. She is someone that really pointed out what narcissism was to me back in the day. She was kind of that person that gave me that aha moment of, oh my gosh, is that what this could be? And so diving deep into the world of narcissism or, dealing with a partner that is not only scary, because as we know, the word narcissism is thrown around a lot nowadays. So it's not taken as seriously as it should be, in my opinion. But what is the biggest difference as a coach that you could say to possible women out there that need this, or men, because there are narcissistic ex-wives? So I want to make that very clear. What is the difference between a co-parenting relationship and a parallel parenting relationship?
Everything. It's everything. The only thing that is not different, and this is really what I try to help everybody focus on, is you are still doing what is best for your children. And sometimes that is going to be counterintuitive to what we are being told.
Mm-hmm.
And in co-parenting, you assume that the other person also wants what is best for the kids. You guys might have a difference of opinion, but you are working with somebody who is a mental and emotional adult who is capable of that communication and compromise.
Right.
When you are working with somebody in a parallel parenting situation, it is because that person is a mental toddler an emotional toddler. They're incapable of putting the kids before themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so traditional co-parenting, you can have a conversation about the weather and it's not going to mean anything. Parallel parenting, you have got to keep all communication. There is no emotion. You are not sharing information because you know that information is going to be weaponized. You are not trying to fight the battles that are not worth winning. Bedtimes, you don't care what the bedtime is at the other person's house. Your bedtime, your house, your rules, their house, their rules. You have no control, which is very hard for people to accept at first. Like you might have been that primary parent and you have got to radically accept you have no control and you got to let it go. Mm-hmm. You have to radically accept what happens at that parent's house is what happens at that house. And then you have to put the boundaries up that if they want that privacy, you are also entitled to it. So you also have to really think about not letting that person in. And to the rest of the world, especially, and I have so many people in my life who have these amazing divorces. You also have to fight, like, don't let other people make you feel like shit because you're not inviting your ex-husband or ex-wife to the football game, right? Like, you have to figure out the boundaries and where those conflicts are going to start and make the decision. Is it more important and better for my child that both parents come to the sporting event? Or is it more important and better for my child that they don't see the conflict that's going to arise? And it is different for every parent. It is different for every situation. And it is still, and I think this is going to be true for decades to come, going to be looked at by outsiders and people who don't understand like you're the bad parent. And you got to learn how to accept that the people who don't understand, you don't need them in your sphere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And look, for our children's sake, we would love it to be a healthy co-parenting relationship, right? That's the fairy tale ending of your marriage, is that the two of you can come together and amicably make decisions that are best for the child to keep it very child focused. But like you said, you're dealing with an irrational, non-logically thinking human being. And at the end of the day, it's hard, and I'm sure you've had this because I have, where you have outsiders that don't understand the inner workings and dynamics of what you deal with every second of every day with somebody like that, correct? And you have
100%.
people saying to you, you just need to go to lunch and you just need to break bread and you just need to be the bigger, better person for your child. And at the end of the day, I agree with you. You cannot have people like that around you because if they don't understand the emotional warfare that you go through and the mental games that you have to deal with somebody of that caliber, you have to draw boundaries with them. And in drawing boundaries with them, there are going to be things that aren't going to be shared with both parents for that child. And if you don't have people around you that see it and support it, get rid of them.
100%. And it is hard because especially when you're just coming out, right? Like if you think of that, like first 6 months after divorce or separation, your whole world is changing. You're going to lose people. Mm-hmm. And so when I talk to people, especially, the clients that are really in that phase, and I tell them, you got to draw boundaries around additional people who are still in your life. It is a really hard pill to swallow, but it is not just about the boundary with your ex. It is about creating a community that is definitely going to be smaller. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, it is going to be smaller than the one you had before. You're losing half a family. You're probably losing friends. And then you are going to also have to cut out people because you have to save all of your energy for trying to keep the boundaries with your ex. Like, it is insane. And another thing that I always try to like stress to people, because of course I'm coming on doing my social media stuff when I am on my best day.
Yes.
And so I've had people say like, well, when do I get to be where you are? And I was like, I'm on there on my best day, guys. Yeah. Like, it does not mean that they don't always get to you. It does not mean that you are going to not be in a place where there is like the perfect end. You are going to be in a constant battle with this person until they turn 18. I got my first client who reached out to me when their kid turned 18 because they had figured everything else. They had really put in a bunch of boundaries, but as soon as that, like, the rules were gone, their ex went fucking insane because they no longer had all of the rules and they could kind of go, so it's like, it's not even till 18, it's till fucking forever. I mean, you're probably going to be arguing over who gets to see the grandkids.
Yes.
Like, it it is such amount of strength and mental fortitude that why would you waste that on trying to explain for a 16th time why you can't invite so and so to the birthday party? You
Exactly.
know?
Exactly. And, like I trying to tell people around me too, even if we were at the shared birthdays or we were at shared events with the children are still going to pick up how uncomfortable it is to be around both of you in the same room. Because whether you have full control over it or not, your body language, the way you look at somebody, the way you talk to somebody, it's so easy to pick up how uncomfortable you are being around someone that you're used to walking on eggshells around. And so when you draw boundaries and you say, no, we're going to do things separate, that actually is in the best interest for the child. And maybe in that
100%.
moment, the child won't understand it. But as they get older and they become adults, they'll see it.
Oh yeah, and it is amazing too how different the ages
Yes.
that and I gotta say, like, for people who are staying in a toxic marriage because they want to stay together for the kids, like, one message: the younger they are, the easier it is.
Hmm.
Like, get out. Like, trying to get divorced with a 14, 15-year-old, like, is fucking awful.
Thank you.
Like, do it when they're 2. Do
Hmm.
it when they're 3. They're not going to know any different, and they're essentially going to kind of learn, okay, the divided household is normal, and they're not going to find the difference as strange,
Right.
and they're not going to have remembered those awful times in the house. But, like, it's yeah. So I would also say, like, get it done. Go. Leave now, today.
Yes. Thank you. I look back and I got so much shit and slack for filing and leaving when my daughter was only 12 months old. And I guess I'm one of those people that is so based in, I'm a realist. When I see that something's not working, I change it. I don't sit around and I don't hope and I don't pray that this person is going to change for the sake of my mental health, for my emotional health. Like, at the end of the day, I was called selfish or, a bad mom, or how can you do this with her being so young and you're going to miss out on her milestones. Yeah, but I have the rest of her life to live in her life experiences with her. And I have the rest of this time now as she gets older to make memories with her that she's going to remember.
Well, oh, and the other thing, and I think that this is because I'm so big on normalizing leaving for the children. If
Yes,
you stay in that really toxic dynamic where you're allowing somebody to control, and I have a daughter and a son, and I remember looking at them, they're the reason I left,
correct.
because I thought, how could I, as a mother, look at either my daughter or son being treated the way I am being treated, or thinking that they would learn that it is okay to treat another person how
Mm-hmm.
I'm being treated.
Mm-hmm.
Leaving these toxic relationships and learning how, and you're teaching them life skills. You implementing a boundary is not just for a toxic ex. Like, you got to, I mean, boundaries are wonderful. If you can teach your kids how to implement them, maintain, emotional control, like, those are incredible life skills that are going to serve them so well. And if you can show them what a confident, independent, happy, self-loving parent looks like, amazing.
Yes.
That's going to be so incredibly important to them, because chances are most of us who ended up in this, and they're probably listening to this, we maybe didn't have that in our past. So this is a gift for the future for our kids.
Yes, I agree with it. Well, one reel that you dropped that I so connected with, that was so hilarious but so informative, was talking about the four horsemen and how the four horsemen is in the Gottman theory. Can we dive into that a little bit more for the viewers and the followers?
Oh, absolutely. So the video was really about so the four horsemen theory, right, is that there are these four horsemen that the Gottmans figured out were the largest predictors of divorce. That if you could see when a couple argued, if they criticized each other, oh my gosh, now I'm going to forget, criticize, stonewall, contempt, and defensiveness. It was over 90% predictor of whether or not they were going to get divorced.
Wow.
And that I think is really well. I mean, if you've been in marriage therapy, like that is a really well publicized idea. It shows up in co-parenting because, and I run into this all the time. People think that after, you divorce somebody and things get better after divorce. They get different. Like there are definitely some things that are better, but your co-parent and how they react does not get better. And so these 4 things, because conflict does nothing but increase when you get divorced.
Right.
These 4 things continue to show up, and they show up in different ways, but it's the same shit just in a co-parenting relationship. And again, I'm very big on radical acceptance, and you have to radically accept this person is not going to change. They're always going to be kind of this defensive, narcissistic piece of shit. I mean, I personally feel.
Hey Xies, it's your girl Lauren, and I just am here to say I appreciate all the love and support, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe so that the podcast can provide you with more valuable and meaningful work to support you on your journey.